This episode of Film Riot is brought to you by B&H Photo and Squarespace. Spaces for squares. Today on Film Riot, creative camera techniques, and later, a special guest segment. The mystery. Ooh.
Hey. Hi. I'm Ryan Connolly.
In the beginning, Adam bites the apple. In 1903, the first narrative film is made. In 93, Spielberg says F you to evolution. And in 2009, Film Riot is released to the world.
Want to be a filmmaker? Well, so do I. Let's figure it out. We're going to be following Tryon Films from pre to post production as we make our latest short film, Tell. Along the way, we're going to be showing you how to accomplish great effects with little to no budget. And every now and again, we'll be jumping over to Full Sail University to get you advice from the pros. So grab some popcorn and get comfortable. This is Film Riot. Welcome to Film Riot, the show that takes the mystery out of the effects and techniques to go into some of your favorite Hollywood films. I'm your host, Ryan Conley. Guess what comes next? No, an email. I'm going to be working on a new short film in June, and I was hoping that you could show some creative things I could do with just my camera. Thanks a bunch, Charlie. Our good buddy Charlie wasn't very specific about what he was looking for, so I'm just going to show you a few things I've done lately, and maybe one or two that pop into my head. First is how to make a small room seem a little bit bigger. So if you're shooting in a small room where your actors are basically butted up against a wall, your shots are typically going to come out a little on the boring side. So you can try to create some depth by moving your actors as far off the wall as you can get them. Then when you switch around to the other side, move your actors to the opposite side of the room so the actor you're now focusing on is far away from the wall behind him. This will effectively create some depth and make a little bit more of an interesting shot. Just be sure that when you get your two shot, you can't see either of the walls behind your actors or the illusion will be ruined. Of course, you can use this technique to make a big space look even bigger.
Get low, get low, get low, did the flow, get low, did the flow, get low.
So I remember right after film school, I shot a terrible short film that I will never show anywhere, ever. Ever, 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 freaking ever.
Shut up!
Now, in one of the scenes from that short film, there were two actors, one inside of a tub, one outside of it, talking to him. Now, I wanted to do over-the-shoulder shots for both actors, but it was pretty impossible with the wall right behind the actor in the tub. So the solution I thought up was to get a big mirror and put it behind the actor in the tub to get an OTS shot of the actor outside of the tub. Of course, this is going to reverse your image, so you're going to have to fix that by flipping it back in post, but that's a really easy workaround. So go get yourself a mirror and do some cool shots.
Then the littlest bumblebee wasn't so little after all.
It's a good story.
Bam, son! Next is a question I got a few times after we showed something where somebody was punching someone else. People wanted to know how we got our punches to look so brutal. Well, one of the things I did was simple enough. Just shake the camera. At the point of impact, I'll shake the camera to make the hit seem a lot more brutal than it actually is. Here's the difference. You can also use this technique for when someone's firing a gun or when an explosion happens. It's just a subtle addition to push your action that much further. But I think that's enough for today. You're just gonna have to wait for next week for some more creative camera techniques. But did you know we went to NAB? Thanks to our friends at Kessler Crane, Josh and I were able to make it out to NAB this year to see all the delightful goodies spread out like a technological Thanksgiving dinner for me to consume. It was cool. We saw a lot of cool stuff at NAB, including the micro remote from Red Rock, which allows you to remotely pull focus with your DSLR camera, and even lets you use your iPod Touch or your iPhone as an interface for the system. We also met up with our friends from Let Us Direct that showed us the DSLR gear they've been working on. The first thing they're bringing to the DSLR table is their design for a viewfinder, which is mounted to the camera using a stainless steel support arm, and of course has an adjustable diopter. I really love how this viewfinder will connect to the camera. It's unlike any of the others, and to me, seems to make the most sense. There's also two ways that you can take it off the tripod. It either can stay connected to the camera or be hooked up so when you take it off, it stays behind on the tripod, which is a great feature if you want to quickly switch between video and photo. The one we saw was an aluminum prototype. The final product will actually be black carbon fiber and is in production right now. Another bit of gear that Lettuce showed us was their relay system. This piece of gear removes the need for your stock lens when connecting Lettuce adapters. Instead of the stock lens, you would attach the relay adapter directly to your camera and then your lens adapter to that. This will save you on clarity and light loss since you'll be using way less glass. So those are some of the favorite things I got my hands on at NAB. Of course, we also saw red cameras, the Phantom high-speed cameras, and a ton of 3D systems, but those were the ones that were most practical for our use. So there you go. Stuff. I'm extremely excited to have today's episode sponsored by my go-to source for videography and filmmaking gear, and that's B&H Photo, Video, and Pro Audio, the professional source. B&H has been serving their millions of satisfied customers since before most of us were even born, which means they have a pretty good handle on what you need. So they stock up on it so you don't have to go searching a ton of different sites to find what you're looking for. Their intuitive website and enormous store are like Disneyland for the creative enthusiast, and they have a selection of over 235,000 items in video, photo, and pro audio gear. Sounds like heaven. They also carry an assortment of computer equipment, accessories, and top-of-the-line home entertainment gear so you can watch films in the same high quality that you make them. So I've been planning on putting together a few gear lists for you guys for some time now, but now with our partnership with B&H, it's on a much greater scale than I could have even hoped. So now if you go to our revision3.com deals page, you'll find 6 different gear packages, 3 different levels of filmmaker, and 3 different levels of DSLR filmmakers. Each one is based on budget and experience. Now I worked on these lists for a few days to try to make them as inclusive as possible, but I'm going to continue to add to them as we go along, so make sure you keep checking back to the revision3.com deals page for more great gear selections. Logo. So as you know, we've been covering DSLR shooting for about a month now. We talked about audio with these cameras and how they can be a big issue, but we never really got too deeply into it. So then as it turned out, Web Zeros is actually shooting their new season on the 7D, so I thought it would be great if they would give us a behind-the-scenes look at their audio workflow. Take it away!
Hey guys, Daniel here from Web Zeros. We noticed recently that Ryan's been showing you the new breed of DSLRs that shoot video and how you can use them to help make your film. We've been shooting Season 2 of Web Zeros on a Canon 7D, so Ryan asked if we could show you how we capture production quality audio and use it in our show. The first method was 2-system sound, which is exactly what it sounds like. 2 systems, one for image, one for sound. For image, we obviously used the Canon 7D. For sound, we used the Zoom H4. Now we're going to jump into Final Cut Pro and I'll show you how to sync those up so you can edit them. Here we are in Final Cut Pro looking at a shot from episode 5 of Web Zeros. My friend Alice there is holding the slate. Scene 4B, take 1. And we've got our audio file here labeled in our bin, 4B, take 1. That's how we know those two go together. It's always a good idea at the beginning of every audio take to verbally say the name of the clip so that when you're sorting through them and renaming them, you're not sitting there listening to the audio clips forever waiting to hear the name of the take. So you can see here at the very beginning of our audio file, 04B, take 1, episode 5. We have all that information that we need. Now, what we want to find first in our video is the exact moment that Alice here claps the slate together. We're going to use that as a sync point. You can see right there is the exact moment the slate hits. Then we want to look for the audio in the audio file where that happens. And it's usually going to be a big spike in the audio. There it was. And so we go in and mark an endpoint on that. With Final Cut Pro, if you hold down Shift, you can actually go in with audio on a sub-frame level and mark the exact beginning of the clap. Then hold down the Apple key, select your audio and video, modify, merge clips. Now it's asking us at what point do we want to sync these clips together. Since we marked endpoints, that's what we want to use. It creates a new clip. So we see we have our camera audio here, and then we have our audio from the Zoom. So in our timeline, we'll disable 1. We'll bring this down, and then we have our good audio with the video.
I'm finally starting to get a hold of this.
The second method we use to capture audio is this, the Juiced Link CX231 and DN101. The first piece, the CX231, is this large box down here, which is basically a big preamp. It's got 2 balanced XLR inputs. The second unit is the DN101, and it does a couple of things. First and foremost, it defeats the auto gain control on the camera by sending a constant noise into the right channel. That way you can record clean audio into the left channel. It also gives you an audio meter and a headphone jack. And those are the two ways that we've used to capture audio for the show. Now I do need to say that the two-system method yields much higher quality audio. It just takes a lot longer to sync up in post. The Juice link isn't as good, but will save you some time. In the end, it just comes down to what works best for you. I'll put up a few links to some of the products so you can check them out yourself. And I guess now back to Ryan, the guy you're used to staring at.
So thank you to Daniel and the rest of the guys over at WebZeros for putting that together for us. And if you want to check out their comedy series on Revision 3, go to revision3.com/WebZeros. Do it! Do it! Squarespace is a publishing system for anyone looking to build a blog, portfolio, or any other kind of website. And Squarespace, being the amazing team that they are, have built Triune Films an incredible new site layout that we have just launched today. So now I can go in and adjust size, color, and positioning of all the elements of my site without having to know any coding at all. And they've made it insanely easy to keep all my content up to date as well. So check out triunefilms.com and leave a comment in the news section to let us know what you think. Then jump over to squarespace.com and get your site started. And if you do, don't forget to represent by using the promo code FilmRiot so you can get 10% off the life of your order. And that's it. Now if you want to email me, you can do so at filmriot@revision3.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Ryan_Conley. And there's a Facebook where you can come and do stuff with my face in a book. Nope. We'll see you guys next time when we talk about more creativity with cameras. Bam, son!
Then the little cricket said, "I will crush you under my feet, little bumblebee. I'm 5 times your size. And once I'm done with you, I'll finish off your entire hive." Then the little bumblebee knew that this was his time to be the bravest little bumblebee and save his family's lives. So the littlest bumblebee stood up, took a deep breath, and said, "You can do your best, Mr. Cricket, but this switchblade is going to chop off your head." Then the cricket charged, and the little bumblebee dropped the switchblade and pulled out an AK-47. He unloaded on Mr. Cricket, sending him to another place, which I'm pretty sure isn't heaven. Good story.